There are quite a few concept ships in Star Citizen that have existed for years with little to no visible progress. While it is true that we get one or perhaps at luckiest years two older concepts made into actual flyable ships, quite many of the old ones remain untouched, likely reserved for the final stage of development. One such example is the MISC Endeavour, expected to be one of the last ships added due to its connection with the still unreleased science gameplay systems. Beyond the Endeavour, there are several other ships the community has been eagerly waiting, some of which might realistically enter development over the next few years. Let's begin with one that has been left limbo despite its popularity, the mighty Banu Merchantman. It was once progressing quite well, but the original designer left to pursue other interests. Since then, the development has stalled. Footages and early showcases surfaced about 2 years ago, but there has been no major updates since. The Merchantman's appeal stemmed from the intended role not just as cargo ship but as a mobile trade hub. I am not confirming whether it will be integrated with a planned kiosk system, but the concept implies more than simple transport. It could serve as a marketplace, potentially working a bit alongside the crafting economy. Next is actually a series of ships. To be precise, the Hull series. While the Hull D and E are likely far off due to their sheer size and scope, the Hull B seems like a much more reasonable next step. It's designed as a heavy cargo transport, larger than Hull A but not as demanding or specialized as Hull C. Just like the Hull C, it is not intended to land with the cargo grid extended. That means it is likely to serve more specific mission or event related logistics. I think it is also possible for them to reimagine it in some way so that it could actually land with a cargo grid, because it falls in this nice spot between the Crusader Hercules series and somewhere between the Constellation Taurus, with just 16 containers shy from 400. So let's head on to the Anvil Liberator. This one is another promising candidate, perhaps one of the most wanted ships from the player base. A straightforward design, central cargo bay, engines on either sides, and access from the front and rear. It echoes the Hercules layout in more compact form. Earlier concepts even show its capability of carrying 1 or 2 light fighters on top of the cargo section. Well, perhaps even something slightly bigger. That makes it into an ideal support vessel for small organization gameplay, potentially acting as a mobile base. It's no surprise that this is a ship many players are eager to fly. Considering we have now received the Starlancer series, the MISC Odysseys may be next in line for development. Sharing many design philosophies and other similarities, this Odyssey was marketed as a deep space explorer with mining capability and onboard fuel refining. It is not a pure explorer like the Karak, but rather a hybrid vessel with unique industrial features. Though not all of these may be functional at launch, which can be somewhat common, its design and interior are expected to resemble the Starlancer line, or well other MISC series ships. These are the 4 older concept ships I believe could realistically see development or release over the next 2 years or perhaps even slightly longer: the Banu Merchantman, Hull B, Anvil Liberator, and MISC Odyssey. However, there are others likely scheduled much further down the roadmap, possibly over the next 5 years, like the Crusader Genesis for example, a large passenger transport seeming ideal for base building integration. It could either support a variant for base deployment or act as a mobile support hub. Then there's the Crucible, an essential repair focused ship. It would allow damaged vessels to receive in-field maintenance instead of returning to space stations. As fleet-based combat expands, a ship like this becomes more and more relevant. Maybe the Nautilus mine layer may see development once base building or space station defense systems become reality. Likely the Vulcan might bring much needed logistical role, resupply and repair into active combat zones, particularly during org-based events. On the ground vehicle side, the Ranger bike is likely delayed until terrain systems or roads are in place, something that doesn't yet exist in the current game state. The Orion mining ship is perhaps the biggest, maybe its implementation depends on Star Citizen reaching a near finished state, as it is tied to a deep space mining system not yet in game. That covers the older ships and vehicles we probably won't see anytime soon. As for new concepts that could appear sooner, there is the Anvil Paladin gunship, a heavily armed behemoth designed to overpower similar sized ships or perhaps even fight up the hill, just introduced last year. The RSI Arastra, the 3-crew mining vessel possibly with built-in refining features. The RSI Galaxy, praised for its modularity, could launch with upgrade kits. The MISC expands, offering the on-the-go refining, which at the moment doesn't seem that essential. And of course the Drake Ironclad, which was teased release this year among many others. Originally I only wanted to talk about the first 4, the Merchantman, Hull B, Liberator and Odyssey. But the truth is, both old and new concepts alike hold potential. Some are clearly reserved for the game's final stages, while others could enter development in next 2 to 5 years. There are even few more ships worth mentioning. Even if I don't have strongest feelings about them, there is the Drake Kraken, likely waiting behind Ironclad, and the Raylan, a sizable alien transport ship that may not fully live up to the original vision. There are of course some more concept ships and ships which aren't exactly revealed, but have been hinted or slightly shown. I believe there is a lot of potential to have these long-time concept ships, to have work started on them already or over the next few years, thus potentially becoming realities. And of course there are a lot of ships they don't exactly reveal, but I do hope to see the Liberator, and I think plenty of players are truly waiting on that ship, purely for the comfort and the utility it offers. But I've been going on for long enough. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.